Welcome back, ladies, to the Work in Real Time, episode 11. It is March the 18th. My name is Alicia, and I am a holistic health coach who supports women in creating lives that feel sustainable, nourishing, and grounded. I have to say, this week I feel good. Things have been steadily improving for me. Not in a dramatic overnight way, but in a steady, grounded way that feels sustainable. This week, I completed Lesson 3, Reclaiming Our Bodies, Pleasure, Rest, Softness, and Food Liberation in the bonus module, Black Women, Food, and Body Liberation. And at the same time, I've been doing work with my therapist around nervous system regulation, learning how to not stay on high alert all the time, how to pause when something doesn't go according to plan instead of immediately jumping to the worst possible outcome. For many years, my body lived in a state of constant vigilance. And now I'm learning what it feels like to come down from that state. And it's changing how I move through the days and even how I relate to food. One of the exercises this week that I did was to identify the non-food needs that food had been feeling. And when I looked honestly, I realized food had been feeling several things for me: rest, comfort, relief, pressure, joy, and sometimes even boredom. Food had often become my signal that the day was finally over, a way to exhale, and my little nighttime ritual. But the one need I chose to practice meeting differently this week was rest. At night, I usually like to have a little food nightcap, something small before bed. This week, I experimented with something different. Instead of reaching for food, I either simply went to bed or I finished the night with a cup of my favorite tea, Earl Grey tea. And what I noticed surprised me. I realized I didn't actually need the food before going to bed. And that realization felt empowering in a very quiet way. Another exercise asked me to allow two small pleasures without explaining or justifying them afterwards. The first thing I did was give myself a pedicure and manicure. I did it myself, but I took an hour and a half just focusing on me. In the past, I would have thought I was wasting time. I would have been thinking about all the more important things I could be doing. But this time, I practiced letting go of those thoughts. Instead of guilt, I noticed something else: care, rest, slowness, and it actually felt restorative. The second pleasure I allowed myself was something that used to feel like a luxury I didn't have time for. I made plans to meet friends for breakfast, and I realized something important. For a long time, I treated connection as optional, but connection and community are actually necessary for good health. When I spend time with friends, laughing, learning, and sharing stories, I feel uplifted. And that's not wasted time. That's nourishment. Another reflection had me ask what changes in my eating when I'm rested versus when I'm depleted. And the difference was very clear. When I'm rested, I naturally want more variety, fruits, vegetables, and protein. I eat slower, I'm present, and I stop when I'm satisfied. But when I'm depleted, my choices become much more limited. I want something quick and convenient. I may eat faster. I may be distracted. And sometimes I eat past fullness because I'm not really paying attention. That reflection helped me realize something. The issue is not the food. The issue is rest. When my body is supported, my eating tends to regulate itself. I also practice eating a meal without labeling the food as good or bad, without telling myself what I should and shouldn't be eating. And honestly, I've been working on this for a while now. But what I notice is how peaceful eating becomes when that constant commentary quiets down. Before, my mind would be analyzing the entire time. Now, I can actually taste the food, enjoy it, and listen to my body's signals. Eating becomes simpler, calmer, and I am more present. Something else interesting showed up this week. I realized I have moved past the food judge voice, the one that labels foods as good or bad. But I noticed another voice that is still present, the voice that I call the food accountant. That quiet voice that says things like, I've already had dessert today. Maybe you want to choose something lighter. I had carbs earlier. And noticing that voice was actually helpful because now, instead of automatically obeying it, I can pause and ask my body what it actually wants. That's a big shift from control to awareness. Another reflection asks a powerful question. Where am I still performing strength instead of asking for support? And the honest answer for me is I still try to do everything myself. Part of that is because I know what I want and how I want it done. But if I'm honest, another part of it is protection. Doing everything myself protects me from disappointment, from having to explain, and from feeling vulnerable. For many years, strength meant holding everything together. But I'm starting to realize that healing isn't just about being strong, it's about learning how to receive support. The final exercise asked me to write a liberation statement. Mine was this: food is no longer responsible for my rest, comfort, or relief. I am allowed to receive those needs elsewhere. Food can nourish my body, but it doesn't have to carry every emotional need I have. Rest can come from sleep, Comfort can come from slowing down. Pleasure can come from connections. And support can come from community. When I read that statement out loud, the feeling that comes up is hope. Hope that things can be different. Not perfect, but different. This week reminded me that healing can look like drinking tea instead of eating a nightcap, taking time for a manicure and pedicure without guilt, meeting friends for breakfast, eating without judgment, listening to your body, and slowly learning that your needs are real and worthy of care. So that's where I am this week, still learning, but feeling more hopeful than pressured. And realizing that food freedom isn't about controlling food. It's about caring for the life that surrounds it. If you're navigating your own relationship with food, body, or health, and would like to learn more about the Empower Her journey, or join my free private Facebook group, you can find this information in the links below. And I'll see you next week right here for the Work in Real Time.